MPs lead the way.
Yeah. Infantry hates to hear that one, that's for sure. All right. So, welcome back, everybody, to the Backyard Slinging Podcast. Joining us today be our third main guy. It'll be Thomas Wolfe, or Tommy, whatever he wants to go by. I call him Wolfe. We spent, 6 years together in the reserves. Pretty much just 6 years of screwing off.
Wow.
Whenever we were together, but we still got stuff done. That's whatever.
I think we got a lot of stuff done. Made sure the Humvees ran well. I mean,
every time. Fending off the Wookiees at the ammo point.
Yep. There was definitely a Sasquatch in the wood. I'm not gonna say I'm a hero. I'm not gonna say that we saved the country, but I'm gonna say we definitely guarded that ammo point.
Oh, for sure. There was definitely Wookiees in the trees.
Mm-hmm.
And we just
coming for the ammunition.
Yeah. I mean,
what kind of range day you can have with no ammunition?
Exactly. The Army doesn't run.
No.
So, yeah.
The Army does not run. That is a factual statement.
Especially now.
Yeah. Regardless of situation.
Yeah. Oh, you remember, what's his face? Danner? Is that his name?
Oh, yeah.
He had that profile that says, is not able to evade indirect fire.
No, I don't remember.
Did you see that? It said it on it. I read it. It said prohibited from evading indirect fire. So if we came under like a freaking mortar attack, he has to stand still. He can't run. He just has to stay there and take it.
You know what? The Army needs targets. Some people got to be targets. It's all right.
Yeah. I just forgot about that. That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, if I had a list of things that I was willing to evade, indirect fire would be pretty high up there. Direct fire might be number one, but indirect would be up there.
And then, I mean, indirect's usually a pretty big explosion.
Yeah, that's all right.
Hey, he'll be out there. Maybe not now. I don't know where he is now.
Well, I don't know. He was local for a while. I think he disappeared.
A lot of people disappeared.
Yeah, too much indirect fire locally. He had to go somewhere else.
He had to drive somewhere else because he couldn't walk. But all right, well, we'll start out with these questions that I asked Corey and Cody. So, first one, what's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie at all?
Yeah, like favorite movie all time. Like anytime you can sit down and watch it.
Anytime I can sit down and watch it. Well, I have three, but they're separated by category. So number one, Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost.
Okay.
You'd have never guessed it. I love Scooby-Doo.
No, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost.
Never watched that in the field at all.
No, we wouldn't do that. But number one. But if you were looking for like real movie, Remember the Titans.
That's a good one.
Top one.
I feel like I remember you saying that at some point. That sounds familiar.
It's a good movie. You're looking for comedy movies, Major Payne. Someone.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Major. I mean, how can you go wrong with that one?
Mine, I don't even know if you've heard it. Corey never heard of it. Cody's never heard of it. Hatari.
Hatari.
Yeah, Hatari.
I've heard of Atari.
Yeah, that's a game system.
All right. Tell me about Hatari. What's Hatari?
It's a John Wayne movie, but it's not a Western. So I think it's in the 60s, because I actually just watched it 2 days ago. Because we've been talking about it for 2 episodes now. But he's in Africa, and he's catching animals for the zoos.
I have heard about this movie. I've never seen it.
I think it's great.
But I have heard about
I love that movie.
Yeah.
I was telling him when I was when I was deployed, I watched it like once a week. I
didn't know he was catching. I thought he was a big game hunter, but I have heard about this. I didn't know he was catching them.
He's catching them, yeah. Yeah.
That's all right. Big John Wayne fan?
Oh, for sure. I mean, growing up with the grandfather I had, there's John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, all those old westerns, Ponderosa, all that old stuff. Let's see. Next question: coffee or tea?
Coffee. Yeah, I'm a coffee guy.
Why don't you buy my coffee?
I will buy your coffee.
Gosh dang it.
You should send me a free sample.
You're supposed to like get your whole department to get it.
I'll force them to get it. I'm just gonna go steal a bunch of money and make and just buy it.
I mean,
when they say, "Where does money go?" I'll be like, "Why did I got it?"
We just got a little plug right here.
6 Up coffee.
Yeah,
you got to start.
You know what the 6 Up is?
That's a cold start. It's a cold start.
Yeah, it's a breakfast blend.
I know what 8 Up is.
Oh, you know what 6 Up is?
No,
it is back in the time when police cars had those old lights on it. And there were 6 lights.
All right.
So people would be like, 6 Up's coming. The police are coming.
They say worse things now.
I know. Yeah, and it doesn't help that I'm like 250 pounds now. So I don't eat the donuts anymore, though.
No donuts?
Stop that. No,
you just deadlifting?
I need to. I need to get back to it once my knee gets better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's slowly getting better. We just started doing some like agility stuff today.
You said you were at therapy. That was
getting
your knee fixed up. Yeah. How's that going?
It's making progress. I mean, I'm still not where I want to be.
What was the actual diagnosis with it? Like, what happened?
Sprain.
And
like had like some fluid in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
the same thing.
I feel like sprains are the worst, though. They take longer, in my opinion. I mean, I've sprained both ankles multiple times, and it's just they don't really get better because you use them all the time. It's not like a break where like it heals up and then it's good.
Yeah, sprains are bad. About a year ago, I did the same thing. Playing getting a little rough with some of the guys on the team. We play in war ball, which is basically just as violent as we can get. Rugby, basically. We're trying to get a football. Nice. We're football into a trash can, and we're just fighting each other. And took a couple shots to the knee, and I sprained my my ACL and my PCL. And it's like and it didn't hurt that bad, but every step is like you're wobbling. You can't take a step forward. I mean, without being off balance. So that's rough.
It sucks. Yeah, it sucks. It doesn't help that I got a history on both sides of the family with knee problems, so that doesn't help. I made it great. 30 years without having knee problems.
30 years. I remember your 21st birthday. That's how long we've known each other.
Yeah.
Since before that. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been when I was 19 or 20, actually. Because when did you come into the unit?
2000.
Yeah. So yeah, at the same time I was there. So I would have been 19.
Late 13. I was 20, almost 22.
Yeah.
When I started because I went to basic training.
I never realized that you were that much older. I always forgot. I mean,
it's because I'm childish. It's because I'm childish.
You just fit in with everybody else.
Yeah,
Yeah. Definitely tell me stuff we got in.
So before we started this, you were telling me about the dog, and we kind of cut off the conversation. So you're getting a new puppy, German Shepherd.
Yep, all black. As of right now, she has like this little white star on her chest.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if she keeps it or if it grows out or whatever. But she'll be pretty cool, I think. From the couple of videos we got from the breeder, she seems pretty chill, not too erratic or high strung or anything.
She'll be high strung. I mean, this German Shepherd.
German Shepherd. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you train? Do you have like
scared of everything?
Do you have like a technique you train with, or do you have like a trainer?
I think my wife's thinking about taking her to a local training place here. It's called Ridgeside Canine. Because that's where she took her dog to, Dakota, which is a German Shepherd. She took her there when she was younger. I don't know what happened since then because it's new people. It's a very slow introduction process. Like, so you can't just go around someone. She'll end up taking a chunk out of them. So,
because she's skittish, or is she just an angry?
I think she's
an angry
just
dog.
overprotective.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what it is. Because, I mean, yeah. I mean, cause other than that, like, she's scared of everything else. Like fireworks. I mean, most dogs are generally fireworks, but she doesn't like thunder. She'll just like pick a spot and just like cower down like this from thunder.
Yeah.
I'm guessing she'd be the same way with like gunfire. I mean, it's not like my dog Cass. The day I got her, she was 6 months old. And it was a Sunday because I had already told my grandfather I was going to help go be one of the range officers for the shooting match. So I just took her with me. She can care less about the people shooting 25 yards away. She was just laying under the bench chewing on rocks.
Yeah. A little distracted.
Yeah. And like fireworks, when I lived by myself in the townhouse, people got like the legit ones that went up in the air and exploded. And they did it like 1 block away. And it like shone through the kitchen windows and that. She was laying in the middle of the floor in the living room. She's just laying there, and it goes off, and it shakes the house, and she just like looks up, puts her head back down, don't care.
Man, this dog's from like Gaza or something.
Yeah, she wouldn't care. She'd be great there. She'd be like, let's go.
She's a veteran. That's all right. Go.
We got one more question here, which we got in a little fight in there. The biggest animal that you can take in a fist fight.
In a fist fight?
Yeah. So you're in a room with an animal. This is what we kind of decide on. You're in a room with an animal. Only one of you is getting out the door. Biggest animal, and you don't have any weapons. Like just hand to paw.
Hand to paw. I could left hand a black bear.
No,
a black bear, not a grizzly bear. Look, I'm not crazy, but a black bear, I'll left hand a. You see this thing right here? You know what? This right here, you know what that is, but no black bear knows what that is, and it's going to catch him by surprise.
Yeah. That was my answer if the animal didn't know I was coming.
If it did know you're coming?
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
I was talking like if I could jump out of a tree, get in there and like sink a choke in on them. Yeah, I got black bear. But I said like face to face, I was like a deer. I said a doe.
Face to face? Well, I don't know about a deer.
See,
this is what gives me pause about that answer. Not a buck. No, you can't. No, I mean, you ever seen the videos of them fighting? They're all like up, like it's crazy.
You gotta get inside.
Yeah, that's what I got. Hands up, like
Yep. Close the distance and wrap up.
Here's what gives me pause about that. I live by a park, and there are like 50,000 geese in that park, and they're evil, sinister dinosaurs. And I'm not sure that I could take one of them because they're intimidating. I'll run by one of them and they hiss, and I'm like, all right, and I get a little nervous,
Yeah.
So
that was Cody's answer was goose.
Oh yeah, you can kill him.
He said goose. Corey, what was his? I keep forgetting what he said. His initial answer was a mountain lion, and I just looked at him like,
kill a mountain lion.
Yeah, I'm like, Corey, what are you doing, man? Do you like, like the teeth are like that big? And he's like,
have you ever fought a cat before?
He's like, I'll just kick him in the face. I'm like, dude. And I said that too. I'm like, have you ever held a cat that doesn't want to be held? You're gonna walk away bloodied. It's not gonna end well.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. The biggest animal I could beat up. That's a good question. I'm gonna have to do some research on that. I might go out and actually fight a couple animals this weekend just to kind of see if I want to see how I stack up. If I go out here and I get like one punched by a goose, then that'll be the end of it. Then I have no answer for you.
Then you gotta like bust it down to like a possum or something.
Yeah, I could fight a possum. There's a fox out here that looks pretty skittish. I could definitely get a fox.
I think the thing is getting close enough to a fox. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I could take
you though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're aggressive. Yeah. I think I could get a deer. Definitely a doe.
Well, it might be different if they got a fawn, though.
I could definitely take the fawn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I could probably guilt them.
What?
I could probably guilt them into just like walking away too, you know?
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Yeah. What's the smartest animal you think you could beat in a debate?
Oh, God.
About global warming?
I don't know. What's something that doesn't care about global warming?
I'm gonna stick with a black bear.
That's still probably a good answer.
Yeah, I think I can beat a black bear in
that.
a debate. Yeah.
Yeah. I could beat, what do we got around here? I don't know if I could beat an owl. They seem like they're smart.
I heard they're dumb, though. I heard owls are so dumb. Yeah. Crow. What about a crow? Could you beat a crow?
No, dude. You've seen them things?
Really smart.
They're smart.
They are smart, yeah.
They know how to use tools.
I know how to use tools.
Well, you also got thumbs, so.
That's a good point, yeah. And I'm going to use this thumb to grip a baseball bat and beat that bear in a one-on-one.
Yeah, yeah, a bear's a good answer. Probably not a fox because they got that Sly Fox nickname.
Yeah.
I think I could beat Dakota in a debate about global warming.
I don't know. Dakota's been through a lot. Global warming got Dakota's left eye.
No, Dakota got two same colored eyes.
What's the other dog's
name? That's Cassidy.
Cassidy, yeah. All right. You couldn't beat Cassidy. Cassidy's been through global warming.
That's why she got a blue eye.
Yeah. Cassidy lost her eye.
She was studying the sun intently.
With one eye closed.
How about it, Cass?
What a sacrifice.
Hey, she said for the betterment of, I guess, dog kind, because I don't think she really cares about people a whole lot.
Yeah. She doesn't seem like she cares about people. Yeah.
She likes the attention. So she's here for the people to be here for her. Not the other way. That's fair. Yeah.
I feel the same way.
She ain't here for us. She says we're here for her. So
I feel that.
Dakota, on the other hand, she's definitely here for us. She's a big goof.
She just needs people in her life.
Yeah. The right people. Mm-hmm. And I think she needs glasses, too.
Glasses? Reading?
Yeah.
Just general?
Like general seeing glasses. I've never seen a dog knock over so many things and run into so many things. I swear she needs glasses.
She should have corrective lenses on her driver's license. She gets into a car accident.
I think she used to have one.
She got her license taken away?
Yeah, I got taken away.
God, Dakota lost her license? In a drunk driving accident?
I don't even think it was that. She just didn't see it. She's like, I didn't see it. That person wasn't there before.
Like somebody's grandmother. I tell you, I just heard a crazy story. An 84-year-old or an 82-year-old was driving to the beach in a truck. She pulls onto the beach and runs over a 79-year-old's head.
Huh?
And the 79-year-old goes to the hospital and is fine.
What happened?
She's like, yeah. The driver?
Yeah.
Driver was like, I didn't see her. I was pulling out onto the beach to park my truck. And her head was there.
Oh, damn. All right.
It's crazy. I mean, you know what? I appreciate the fact, though. I mean, because, it's old on old violence. So it's like,
that's fair.
I'm not if you're going to run over, if you're 82 and you're going to run over somebody's head, it should be a 79-year-old.
Yeah. It's a fair fight, really.
Yeah.
I mean, the one couldn't see anything. The other one probably didn't hear it because she probably didn't have her hearing aids in.
Yeah, she probably didn't know what happened. They woke her up and they were like, hey, your head got run over. And she was like, what?
What? I just sleeping. That's all. I was taking a nap. That's all. They're like, how do I get to the hospital? Yeah.
We've all been there.
Hey, I can tell people better enjoy having you here because it's going to be more off the rails type stuff right here.
Oh yeah, I thought that was.
Sure.
I was told this one's like we're good to go. There's no holds barred on this.
Yeah, no, I think it generally like I'm kind of trying to keep the cursing and stuff to a minimum because I know like my little cousins might watch this. Probably not. They're probably more into like my gaming videos I've been putting up.
All right.
So this might be more of an adult thing, which works for us. I think.
How do your little cousins feel about me cussing?
I don't know. They don't even know who you are.
Perfect.
They live in Utah.
In Utah?
Yeah.
Are they Mormons? How many wives they got?
I mean, how old are they? They're like 10 and 8.
All right, so outside of the cussing environment,
yeah, for now,
I can respect that.
I don't think they really will too much, even when they get older, because their mom, my cousin, she doesn't really cuss at all, and I don't think her husband does either. So they're pretty.
It's probably a healthier way to be. I'm not against
Debatable.
cussing at all. I'm not against cussing. I think it definitely lets out stress, but there's got to be a little bit.
Sometimes it helps you get your point across to people.
It does.
And they say that it doesn't, but I think it definitely does. Especially being in law enforcement. Like,
I like to talk.
You can't always just, be all like, hey, sir, you really need to stop that because you're being irrational.
Yeah.
Then he ain't going to react to that a lot of times.
Yeah, I tell you what, when you just said it like that, it made me feel more rational. I felt like I was being irrational and I calmed down.
God dang. I guess I see it.
I think your choice of words.
Training words.
I think your choice of words was amazing.
Dang it. I didn't think that training was any good. Apparently it is.
Your crisis intervention training?
Yeah. You guys do that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's it's a requirement
certified.
for the entire agency.
It's not a requirement for us. It used to be something that they were like, hey, we're going to send people to it. But now we have like social workers that are assigned to go out to those calls for us.
Yeah, we don't have those.
Yeah,
every person qualified.
Yeah, we used to. Now it's kind of there's a handful of us left that are CIT.
Yeah.
I mean, where I work, we have a good bit of like mental health places.
Yeah.
So not only like aging, like some older people with dementia and stuff. We have a lot of like people with developmental disabilities, mental health stuff, and then
we definitely got our share about that, but we don't really have the facilities as close by.
Oh, we get them all. We got like houses that are rented by the companies that run them.
Yeah.
So it'll, like every time we get a call to that house, it's somebody with a developmental disability. So
how do you think that is a good thing? Like overall?
I think the training is good. I think it's good to understand those situations. I think the houses, I don't know how I feel about the houses way they serve a purpose because basically you're just putting people together in situations to they feed off each other. When one person has a bad day, everybody has a bad day.
But I think maybe like the only positive, one of the few positives maybe for that is you are going to have a kind of like understanding of what you're going into when you get called to that location.
Right? Yeah, it's good for us to understand that, like to know. We know if I go to that address, I know what I'm going into.
Right.
But I don't think it's helpful to the people that live at the address. I don't know how it helps them.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
I'm not against it. I don't really know. I don't have a good idea for it, so
I mean,
I can't critique it
probably,
without
Yeah. Well, it's kind of similar probably to like the Army, though. You know what I mean? I mean, you just have a bunch of fucking all in one place together, and we all just feed off of each other. So like,
when you know how bad ideas tend to compound. It's certainly but it certainly compounds.
On the other hand, the bad ideas are better because what does nobody like in the Army? They don't like the good idea fairy.
No, or responsibility,
which is usually the LT.
Usually the LT.
Remember we lost that one LT for like 4 months after we did LANAF?
Yeah, I don't. Did we ever find that LT? Did he ever come back?
Yeah, he came back.
Yeah,
I think he came back after you got out.
Yeah,
And it was more than 4 months. It was like half a year that he was gone.
yeah, it was a while.
It just happened to be the day after we did land nav, and then he was just gone.
Yeah. Well, that's an embarrassing time for lieutenants. Is land nav. The range is also an embarrassing time. Like that's the time you want to disappear.
Yeah. Also with upper officers as well. Remember we kicked? Didn't we kick off like a major one time off the range?
I'm sure. I would guarantee
pretty sure we
it.
did.
I'd bet money on it. Yeah.
And it wasn't even someone from our chain of command.
Yeah. This is the crazy thing. I think like most people, probably the largest misconception of like the military is that they're like well-trained fighters. It's the same thing with law enforcement. I think most people think if you stood on the range with a cop or somebody from the military, like a soldier, whatever branch,
right,
that they're and you shot next to that person, they would outshoot you. But no, they are.
Most of them probably not.
Most of them have shot. The only time they shoot is when they shoot at the range for their in-service.
Once or twice a year,
once or twice a year, and it is pathetic. I mean, those people, and sometimes they have to qualify 3 or 4 times. That's
or
by far
they don't qualify, and then they're not allowed to go back on shift until they get qualified, like days later.
Yeah, so we'll take people's guns away. If you fail the qualification, I will take your gun out of your hand, and I will say you're not allowed to go home with this. Like you can't even, like you can't shoot this till you qualify. and it's, I hate, I don't like to do it, but you have to be able to shoot.
Yeah, and I think there has to be some kind of repercussions for it if you can't perform essential tasks. Now, like, and then I mean, you always have the other tasks that you got to do. There's always checklists every year, law enforcement and military, and it's like, why do we need to do this? I mean, it would just be like stupid stuff. But then the stuff that's really important, it's just, hey, go there, get it done. Okay, cool, we're done with that. Now we're going to go back to the stupid stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think it's people that got into law enforcement that had other interests, and they still got into law enforcement, and they didn't. You should understand that, like, your interest has to be. There's a baseline that you have to meet in shooting, fighting, physicality. You have to be able to do those things, and if you can't, then you can't do the other important things.
Yeah,
which
that's definitely I think important. I don't know. I think a lot of agencies they're not focusing on the right things. Like when you have a situation, and I mean, I'm sure you've seen it, and I've seen it a lot because I've been doing this for 10 years now. And you'll see someone that's just constantly trying, like, asking someone to do something. At some point, like, you have to make them. Like, they did something wrong. They're going to jail. You already know they're going to jail, or if, in my case, already in the jail, you're going to the hole. It's already been determined. So there's no need to keep asking because it's going to have the same ending either way.
Yeah, I mean, ask, advise, tell. I'm going to ask you to do something. Put your hands behind your back. If you're not going to put your hands behind your back, I'm telling you, you have to put your hands behind your back. If you don't, I'm going to put your hands behind your back. If you don't do that, then afterwards, I've already advised you. I've already asked you. I've already advised you. Now I'm going to make you. I mean, that's your fourth step. I've already asked, advised, tell.
Yeah. There's a lot of places. There's a lot of the newer people, I think, coming in. They're so timid to go hands-on. Which, I mean, I guess it's to be expected a little bit just of how, the news and everything has been the last however many years now. 5 years, 6 years. With all this nonsense. It's like, that's making it less safe for everybody involved.
Absolutely. I mean, you're expecting for people to do a job that you don't want them to do.
Yeah.
You're going to people and say, hey, lock up bad guys. But also, don't lock up bad guys, because if you do, I don't like it.
We're gonna look bad, and we don't want to look bad.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a thing of looking good or bad. It's just doing your job. It's the same as any other job. Like an office job, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you get fired.
Absolutely.
But,
yeah.
You know,
it's not about looking good or bad. I mean, you could say we look bad. We might not look bad. It looks ugly because what we do is ugly. I mean,
yeah. There's going to be violence. It's just, it's going to happen. You can't get around it. I think I don't remember where I saw it. One of my pages that I follow or something on Facebook. I was just scrolling, and it's about like the violence thing. It's like man cannot avoid violence. He can only prepare for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think more people in these certain professions need to realize that. Even people not in the professions. Like all these people that are just like, oh no, I don't condone, violence or fighting. At some point you might be there and like you have to be violent about it. And I know I've been the instructor on like some civilian classes, and it's something that I told them, it was like for all women. And like I told them, like if you get attacked, like all bets are off. Like you have to, like this is the thing that we learned in the military. It's called violence of action, and it'll take most of the people by surprise because they're not expecting you to be violent. They're expecting you to give in and just put up a little bit of a struggle. But like if you just get violent and take it to them, like the chances are they're going to go and they're going to leave you alone.
Yeah, I think humans look for natural progression, and when you skip step 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you go straight to we call it inundating them with violence. We teach that a lot in our academy. When somebody shows up, and if you want to get violent, I won't make it violent, but if you want to get violent, I will participate.
Right.
Get violent. I think most people that hate violence are people that are incapable of it. Not saying they don't want to be capable; they just lack the capability.
Yeah,
I think those are the people that are pushing back. If I'm if I'm talking about somebody doing bad in the stock market or somebody doing good in the stock market, I'm probably, because I can't do it. If I see somebody winning $1 million at poker, it's because I can't play poker.
I can't.
If I'm talking bad about a cop, being violent with somebody on the street, if you saw the victims, if you saw the person that got victimized by this person, you spoke to them, you heard their story, you probably wouldn't. You'd be a little less judgmental about the techniques used to.
I agree.
Subdue that person. Yeah.
All
right. So we got law enforcement there.
Yeah, that was a good bit right there. That was pretty good. So we want to move on to got movies. So you said you was reading some books lately. World War II books.
I've been reading a couple history books. I'm trying to get into reading a little bit more, because I'm a pretty dumb person, so I gotta get smart. No, but I just started reading Operation Paperclip by Andy Jacobson. It's all about after World War II, and we started snagging them Nazi scientists over here to help us, help us beat the Soviets. Was the was the argument we used. War. Yeah, Werner von Braun came over, started NASA. I mean, we took everybody over there. Shriver, who was like convicted of war crimes and then not convicted of war crimes, and
it's funny how that works. Whenever our government wants something,
Nazi scientists that were like torturing other people to death, and then they were like, "You guys learned a bunch out of that, didn't you?" And they were like, "Yeah." No. So it's pretty interesting. It's a pretty interesting book. Yeah, I definitely recommend it.
I'll have to look that one up.
It's
I
definitely
still
worth
have
reading.
I have a few books on my bookshelf that I haven't read yet. I can't even remember the names of them because it's been a few years since I've read. One of them is called The Frozen Chosen. Have you ever heard about that?
Never heard of it.
The Korean War. It was the Chosin Reservoir, I think. So it was like the Chosin is a river, and there's a reservoir, and I think it's the story of like I want to say maybe a company or a battalion of Marines that were there, and they just kept pushing back wave after wave after wave of North Koreans and Chinese. And the Chinese were like throwing battalions at these guys, trying to take them. And I don't think that they did. I think the Marines held out until they were able to get reinforcements in there and get them out. But I mean, it was like I don't think people realize too much about Korea, like the war there, because it's not. I mean, we touch on it a little bit in school, but
it's definitely an overlooked war.
Yeah. I mean, they had some pretty rough weather, pretty rough winter there during the war. So that's one I need to read.
The Frozen Chosen. I have to check that out.
Yeah,
it's
should
definitely
be a good one.
Sounds like an interesting book.
That one. Yeah.
Do you normally read like history books and stuff? Not like
Normally, yeah. Most of it's World War II. Like I got a book about Rommel. I got his book. It's called Infantry Attacks, that he wrote after World War I when he was a lieutenant for Germany. And he did a lot of his fighting in the Alps. Like true mountaineer warfare up there.
Mm-hmm.
And I like reading it, and it's like tactics that he was using then is stuff that we're still using now. He was that far ahead.
I mean, techniques, sometimes people figure it out, and everybody wants to hear like the scientific reason behind why a technique works, but sometimes it works because the person went out and did it. They know it works. You know, you don't need a scientist to tell you that this is what it's like to live in the frozen tundra whenever you did it. You know, because they don't know.
I mean, that one was good. I think the other one is called Tarawa, the Battle of the Tarawa Atoll in the Pacific. It was like a tiny island, and it probably had one of the highest casualty numbers of the Pacific theater. Mm-hmm. And I was getting the Marines storming the beaches and taking the small island with like a tiny airfield on it.
Well, I'll tell you, I know you're a World War II guy, you're a history guy, tanks, right? Tank guy, right?
I love tanks.
Love tanks.
Sherman.
I knew
the
it.
Jumbo, the Easy 2 Jumbo Sherman.
Yeah, you know about
That's
this.
The thing right there.
I'll tell you, I was into World War II, but I was not educated about World War II until I started reading about it. I will tell you, I didn't even realize that we declared war on Japan. Yeah. That was our only declaration, was we're going to go to war with Japan. And then we were like, oh, wait a minute, we got to fight Germany first before we can fight Japan.
I think after we declared on Japan, Germany declared on us.
Yeah. But we were like, we weren't even like joining the war in Germany. The war in
we went
Europe
to Africa
until
first.
Yeah.
We went to North Africa. You had the British coming from the Egypt side of North Africa and us coming in Morocco. And we met in the middle, pushed the Germans out of there. And then we went into Italy first, Sicily, and then Italy, even all that before D-Day.
I take the Axis.
Yeah.
You put fake tanks and...
Oh, yeah. The airfields in Britain. All the wooden blow-up tanks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just completely fooled them. It was great.
It's an interesting history.
There's so much stuff, and there's still probably a lot. And I've been learning stuff even like the last couple of years. I'm like, oh, that's pretty interesting. So,
I mean, World War II started the CIA.
It was the
we used to have the LSS. Yeah, changed the CIA and
started that.
I mean, have you read Chaos?
No.
You should read. Oh man, that's a great book. It's not World War II. It's the 60s, but it's all about how the CIA took basically Operation Paperclip, started Project Bluebird and Artichoke and these other programs that were basically using Russian and these different techniques for interrogation.
Right.
And they started using like LSD and all these other experiments. And they're like, what can we do with this? and the CIA went wild with it. And then the 60s, like the hippie movement.
Yeah.
It's crazy. There's a lot of ties to, it seems like
Yeah.
a lot of the craziness happened in the 60s was actually created by the CIA,
Oh, I
including
believe it.
Charles Manson.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of put him in
For
prison,
sure.
interrogated him, taught him how to like start a cult, and he was like, "I'll do it." And they were like, "Wow, great
Yeah,
book
what
though,
else we got out
long book."
of World War II? We got the Rangers out of World War II. Army Rangers. The Marine Raiders. Which
Marine
I don't
Raiders.
know. Yeah, they started in World War II. And I don't know if you know this. You know, like the actual structure and layout of an MP company? Because you and I are MPs, right? So it's, what, 4 3-man teams makes a platoon or a squad. Then obviously you got 4 squads in a platoon. That 3-man team came from the Marine Raiders in World War II.
Oh, I did not know that.
Because because before that it was always like a 4-man team, or I think even at that time it was probably like 6-man teams before that. And then I can't remember the guy's name that started the Raiders, but he's like, no, we're going 3-man teams, and we're upping the firepower that those teams have. So they didn't just have M1 Grands, they had the Thompsons, they had the VARs, they carried the firepower with them, which also is how the MPs do it. We always have, one squad weapon at least. And then on the truck, there's another one mounted, whether it's a 50 or a Mark 19. And then even with the dismounted, you're going to have 2 rifles and then either a SAW or a 240. And that comes from the Marine Raiders of World War II.
I did not know that. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
MPs lead the way.
Yeah. Infantry hates to hear that one, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, look at you.
The MP's always got the firepower, so.
I think we
actually, go ahead.
Well, I think we kind of went through a transition for us as MPs because when we started, we were combat support. We were convoy support, and then all of a sudden they were like, "Well, yeah, let's do garrison work too." And then
they even cut that out.
Yeah, it turned into an echo company after we left.
Yep, sure did. Which is stupid. Oh. Anyway, you know who else didn't even know that like MPs carried that much firepower at first? This guy I talked to, come to find out he was a Green Beret in the 90s. And you know what he does now?
What?
Dude's a chaplain.
Oh, he's a chaplain? All right.
Yeah.
What does a Green Beret do in the 90s? Was he in like Desert Storm or something? Like what was going on?
I think he ended up over there, like towards that stuff, but like in the 90s, a bunch of like the South and Central America stuff.
Yeah.
So he's like down there like training people and doing stuff like
Contras.
that. But yeah, him and I were talking. He's like, and I brought up that I was an MP, and he's like, I never knew until after like a couple of years in that MPs rode that heavy.
Oh yeah, you gotta bring some.
Yeah, dude. Like we carry more firepower than the average. The average MP squad has more firepower than an infantry squad.
Yeah, yeah.
And
we take everything.
Yeah, we probably got a couple AT4s in the back of the truck. We got it all.
Let's send one of them off.
Let's see it. Hopefully some infantry guys listen to this. They can start fighting in the comments, and then they'll end up fighting with each other. So I mean, that's what they do.
Whatever. Yeah, they'll fight with themselves. They'll respond to their own comments. Hey, I'll tell you what. We just my local my department here. We just with the ATF just snagged off somebody who was selling an RPG.
What?
Yeah, selling an RPG. I sold to one of our guys and was like, "Yeah, I'll come back. I'll come back here. I'll come back here in 5 days with a couple of reloads for you. I'll get you some rounds." We're like, all right, bring them with you. Nice. Snagged them up.
Nice. Yeah. Shoot, man. Our agency ain't getting nothing like that.
Yeah, we're getting pretty.
We're pretty.
Rolling deep around here.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you're on the 81 corridor.
Yeah.
I mean, most some towns are worse than others on the corridor, but yours because you got 81 and then you got 70 too, so you got two huge corridors coming through and intersecting.
Yeah, I mean we're pretty much surrounded by. I mean we're an intersection for a lot of big cities to get traffic in. So
I mean you got Baltimore, DC,
Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, New York.
Yeah, all within a few hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything south.
Yep.
It's good times. Good times. Yeah, we love it. We love it. Yeah.
I'm sure you guys do.
It's good time. It's a good time to be on the team. We got a lot of work, so we we stay pretty busy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing better than that.
You do. Sometimes I'm jealous about it.
Come on up, man. We'll get you in. I'll get you in.
The pay's pretty good down here, though.
It'd be good up here. We'll get you set up.
It's not gonna be close to what I got.
it might be closer than you think. We're getting a big deal here. Contract's coming up, so we're gonna get set up. It's not gonna be great, but not compared to what you're making down there. But
yeah, no.
So hold on, let's get into this right here. The woodland movements, woodland tactical. Since we're talking about a little bit of both of that. You're talking about them surviving in the not the tundra. What did you say? The
I guess equivalent to that at that point in the winters in like Korea, like stuff freezes, like the whole reservoir froze, like rivers freeze. Not too much of that happens around here. I mean, even with it being as cold as it is, I think the river that I drive over to go to work, I mean, it had some ice on it like last week, but it doesn't get frozen over.
Yeah, I don't think never gets that cold. I mean, even when it gets that cold, it's not that.
Well,
it's not
sometimes
for that long.
The Susquehanna does up there in PA.
Yeah,
there's times when that gets
some
up
cold,
there at Harrisburg, but
yeah, that far up. But
yeah,
I mean, it does. It's never really stays that cold. I mean, you still get a summer.
Usually it's freaking hot as shit.
Yeah, you get those brutal cold days for a little while.
Like
they
week.
Go away pretty quick. Yeah. A few days they go away and maybe get them a couple.
Well, yeah. Well, the one day I went to work 2 weeks ago was -2.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it definitely gets down there.
Yeah.
Or do you switch shifts or anything, or
no? We stay on the same shift typically, unless there's some other operational need. Someone might get moved, or if you go on light duty, which I'm on now, they just switched me to Monday to Friday off of my squad. So, yeah, I mean, it's good and bad. It's bad because I have to drive there 5 days a week now instead of 3 or 4. But it's better. I go in later than usual, and I still go home earlier. So,
are you normally 12 hours?
Yeah, and now I'm on 8.5.
Man, I'm jealous. We work 8s. I hate it. 5 days a week, 6 days off.
You guys like switch every month too.
Yep, first of every month to a new day. So be in the middle of your day off, so you'll get off at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You got to be back at midnight.
Screw that, dude. No thanks.
Well, the benefit is, I'll tell you, the good thing is rotating shifts like that, you don't have to work as long because you're going to die young. Wow. So it's good. You don't have to worry about it. You got to look at the silver lining. Everything has a benefit.
Right. Yeah. So you want to get into the woodland movements and stuff?
Yeah, let's get into the little woodland movements. I recently went to, not recently. When I say recently, I mean like within my lifetime. I went to a woodland tactics movement with some team guys a little bit down the road here in Maryland. Awesome course. A lot of good stuff about.
Oh, I guess what general area are they doing
that? Down in like the, I would say Hartford County area.
Okay.
Yeah. Lots of they got a good training site down there. They got good training sites up here too, locally, a little bit out. I can give you the names here after the podcast, but really good spots outside, Land Nav, did a bunch of land nav, bunch of walking through the woods, how to walk through the woods, formations, stalking, a lot of like how to look for people, how to look for signs, sign cut, great stuff. I took one of our newer guys down, just got on the team, and he put in for it, and he said, "Yeah, I'll go along." He hated it. He's not an outdoor guy.
Huh.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely something that your guys that grew up like hunting and stuff will take to that a little bit quicker, because I mean, it's they grew up doing it. I mean,
it's not a brand new world.
Yeah, like stalking a deer. Honestly, it might be harder trying to sneak up on a deer versus a person.
I think in certain situations,
sometimes,
absolutely. I mean, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they're not gonna set and wait for you, and they're not gonna set up an ambush, but they're definitely looking. I mean, they're doing it every single day of their life. That's all they do all day is not get killed.
And like they know, somehow they know the difference of a freaking squirrel jumping around versus you taking a step and crackling leaves versus a squirrel rustling leaves. They know the difference. And it annoys me when I'm hunting.
Because they hear it all day. That's all they hear. Yeah. They're just listening for...
God, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, they're listening for people all day.
Yeah, but then, you got a couple 1,000 pounds of metal on 4 wheels, and they don't move.
No, they could not care less. Man, I've lost some cars to that. Every single time. I'll tell you, we've got just enough woods around here that every single time I'm running code somewhere, there's a deer. There's a deer. And they're just like, I don't know. They're like people out here. Yeah, they're like, what's going on? I need to know. Yeah.
They're almost as bad as the people, but I'd say the people are worse.
People, I mean, you'd expect more out of the people. Yeah.
You expect more when you're let down more. The deer, you're not as let down because it's a deer. Like the deer doesn't have like the deductive reasoning. Like, these people are doing important things. I should probably move. The deer's probably going to move. And then you have the people out there with their, hold on. What are y'all doing? We got to get this on the Instagram.
I will say the call to the sergeant. I've hit a deer before, and I think the call to the sergeant's going to be different if I hit a person. This is
yeah.
I'm going to be like, hey, I'm just going to go home. You call me when you're you call me when you're ready.
Speaking of like calls on the radio, do you have, I mean, I've not really heard you on the radio too much outside of like the military stuff, and we hardly use radios there. Mm-hmm. But like, you got the people that like if there's something going on, like they're like real frantic on the radio and stuff, and so it like gets everyone like jacked up and trying to get there because they think something crazy is going on. I'm sure you probably got the people, and you probably one of them. Like you could have like some guy like just popping off rounds or something, or shooting at you actively, and then you're just like, "Yeah, I got that guy. He's shooting at me," and you're just like even keel on it.
Yeah, so like radio etiquette is a big thing for me.
For sure. It drives me nuts.
It's the worst thing. So I'm a field training officer, and every single time I get a new rookie with me, I'm like, stay off the radio. There's a couple of times, we have a computer that I can say when I'm on scene. I can hit a button that says I'm on scene. I can hit a button that says new call. I can start a patrol check or whatever it is. I have databases. I can run people's names, driver's license, or tags. I can do all that. I don't need to be on the radio for that.
Yeah.
And it drives me nuts when people get on the radio and they have this dissertation or they have this long conversation. I'm like, when you're done, I'm in the middle of a shootout, county. I'm out of ammo. It's been 10 minutes. This guy's been on the radio. Can I get on that now? It drives me nuts. And when you hear those people get on, if you want to be able to do things, I'll give you a great example. Pursuits. If you want to do a vehicle pursuit, you have to be calm on the radio, because if you don't sound like you know what you're doing, you're stressed out, the supervisor will get on the radio, shut it down. You aren't going to make a good decision. I can hear it in your voice.
Yeah.
and it's a good thing. It's a good. Don't let that person get in that pursuit. I'm going to be calm on the radio. You know, I'm not.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I actually got scolded one time when when I was in the middle of these two people were fighting, and I was trying to yank them apart, and this random guy he was in the ghetto, you know. So these people weren't like, you know, they were all anti-police, but he was also like anti his friend going to jail. So he's trying to help, and I was surrounded by like 50 people, probably 50, 60 people surrounded. And it was just me.
Right.
And I'm like trying to pull these people apart. And I get on the radio. I said, "Hey, County, can you start a couple more people down here? You know, we're getting a crowd." Calm is what it is. Yeah. The next person shows up, gets on the radio. "County, start the whole, yeah, everybody." I'm like, and that person, his senior officer, comes to me and is like, "Why were you should have called out for more help. You should have got on the radio and said," and I'm like,
I did.
All right. Well, I said I needed more people, and you showed up. And we're all here. Like, I didn't need to yell like you did. You know, I was calm.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, I got a story like that. Like, and I've always been like this. I've had one at the first jail I worked at. People started fighting in the middle of the day room while I was doing head count. And I just get on the radio like, fighting Charlie. Just like that. Mm-hmm. And I just walk down the stairs casually. And I'm like looking at these guys, they're fighting, and I'm like, stop fighting. Stop fighting. Stop fighting, you're going to get sprayed. And I sprayed them because they didn't stop. And I just get on the radio like, OC deployed in Charlie. Just like calm as can be. Like people are like barely running to get there. And we're like, we didn't think you were being serious. I'm like, yeah, I saw it on the radio. It's serious. I ain't just going to say there's a fight. And then I had another one at the new jail that I work at. I had just gotten off of FTO. Just took the test and passed. Went down and relieved somebody so they could take a break or go to a roll call or something. So one of the inmates in the cell hits the intercom. He's like, I think my cellie's trying to kill himself. And this dude was calm about it too. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I just woke up and it looks like he's trying to kill himself. And I was like, okay, someone will be right with you. I shut the intercom off, and I knew there's a sergeant in the break room. So I just direct lined him on the phone. I'm like, hey, Sergeant, I think I got a guy trying to hang up in the cell. And I just said chill like that. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, his cellie got on the intercom and says cellie's trying to take the forever nap. He's like, are you being serious, man? I'm like, yeah, y'all should probably go in there.
Yeah, I'm not telling you it's for my own health.
Yeah, I'm doing it for his health.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that's another
they
thing
got in there. They got in there in time. Yeah, the guy survived. So, I mean, it was a good day.
I'll say that's another pet peeve of mine on the radio is when somebody calls out with something crazy and they're like, oh, hey, I got this going on.
Yeah.
And then every other person gets on her and says, I'm going that way. Hey, put me on that. Hey, I'm also going. And meanwhile, the person is actually involved and is trying to get on the radio and they're getting the busy signal and they're I'm like,
yeah.
As soon as it happens, the second person who gets on the radio and says, I'm heading that way, I'll get on the radio and say, County, we're all going. Keep the radio clear. And that way everybody else is like, oh, okay. We got a bunch of new people on the ship. So
we've gotten quite a bit of new people coming in recently too. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how they turn out.
It's hard to recruit people nowadays. I mean, it's tough.
It's harder to recruit quality people on top of that.
Very hard to do that. Well, I mean, because you spent the last 9 years. I mean, really since I've started. I mean, 2015, it all kind of kicked off locally here, and it's just spiraled since then. You spend 9 years, 10 years bashing law enforcement, and then you wonder why we can't fill positions with people that know what they're doing. You know, it used to be the cops you got they did their job. They knew how to do their job. They knew when they got in a fight, they didn't have to shoot somebody. They could actually fight somebody. Yep. They knew they didn't have
the first reaction wasn't drawn.
Yeah, they weren't scared to get in an altercation with somebody because they were confident, they were skilled, and they wanted to be good at it. Now you're hiring anybody who will step up anybody at all because that's all you can get. Take what you can
Yeah.
get, and these people are making mistakes. They don't have any desire to actually do it. They don't have the skill set. They don't have the mindset. Most importantly,
and the agencies aren't getting the training done that the people need, that the officers need the training, and then the frequency of the training on top of that. Like we said earlier with the firearms, that people shoot once or twice a year when they have to go to the range for work, and that's it.
That's it. Yep. And they have no desire. They have no responsibility, no personal responsibility to go out and do extra on top of that. Yeah. People always ask me, they're like, "Oh, yeah, I'm scared to die." I'm very scared to die. I'm very scared. People ask me on the street, some hoodlum will be like, "What, are you scared?" I'm like, "Yes." That's why I'm pointing this gun at you.
And
because you're trying to kill me, and I'm not going to let you.
Yeah, and you don't want to have to question whether there's people coming behind you are competent enough to save you if you need saved. You don't want to have to put your life in their hands.
I mean, unfortunately, I've been on calls before where I'm like, I need somebody else here on the radio, and I hear somebody saying, "I'm headed that way," and I'm like, "You're not the person I wanted."
You just know the
you're not going to help.
Like, this isn't going to end well. Like, we're in.
You're not going to help me. Yeah, I might as well be here by myself. I want to get on the radio, but like, can you start me another on top of another? Because
you just know, and that's when you're raising yourself up because you know that you're going to have to be there to compensate.
Yeah. I mean, I know I have to do the work at that point.
Yeah, you got to take it up to another level because you're not going to get the help that you need to keep it at a lower level.
Speaking of not taking it up a level, did you see the Super Bowl?
Yeah. Well, no, actually, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it.
I knew
it was going to happen.
I didn't watch it. I didn't know it was going to happen. I was hoping it would happen.
Oh, I caught it.
Man, that was rough.
The episode that the second one, he asked me at the end. He's like, "Who you got?" I'm like, "I got the Eagles because I don't think the Chiefs' offense could keep up with the Eagles' offense, and the Eagles' defense is playing off their freaking asses the last 7 weeks of the season. They're hot."
Yeah, the Chiefs fell apart.
That's what it ended up being.
Man, I love seeing it. I I only watched clips of it. I didn't watch the whole thing. I went to sleep.
Yeah.
It was
I didn't watch it.
There was two teams. I mean, there were other teams that were more so. Like, I wanted to see Saquon Barkley get a Super Bowl. I want to see him win. But, like, to watch the Chiefs and the Eagles play it as a Super Bowl, I was like, I couldn't be less interested. But I was glad with the way it turned out.
Yeah. So was I.
They didn't. Yeah.
Not good for them. I mean, not good for Philadelphia Police Department, though.
Oh, I bet they're miserable.
They gotta be so miserable.
It didn't matter
after that.
Win or lose, it was going to be a riot in that town.
Yeah.
Win or lose.
Man.
What a crazy thing. I think I ran through my topics here.
Well, I mean, we're just over an hour right now, so could be a good time to wrap it up.
All right. So we got the Backyard Slinging Podcast. It's episode 4.
Heck yeah,
all
man.
Right. Starring the one and only. I want like a plaque on your wall.
Yeah.
Behind you. It should be like a picture of me or something.
I'll get like a picture of a wolf or something.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Oh, not really speaking of wolves, but it made me think of like tattoos. I'm about to go get a new one here soon.
Of a wolf?
Not of a wolf.
Can we sign it? But, I'll sign it. Give me the tattoo gun. Give me the tattoo gun. I'll put something on.
That signature is going on my leg. Upper thigh.
Wherever it's got to go. Wherever it's got to go.
Upper thigh on the back.
Yeah, upper thigh on the back.
We top of the ham, top of the hammy.
Yeah. Oh, the back of the leg? That's intimate. That's intimate. Yeah.
Hey, it's your signature.
Man.
It means something to me.
Man. That's something I'd have done for my grandfather before. God rest his soul.
Oh, man. All right, well, guess we're gonna head on off of here.
Wrap
And
it up.
we'll
I'm gonna
see
go out here and
y'all.
shovel the snow.
That ain't gonna be too much.
It ain't out there now.
But
It's coming.
yep. We'll see y'all next time.